Izzy Baughn with JHSTheWarning, and we're back again to interview Coach Randy Coleman on game day. Thank you for joining us.
You bet, Izzy.
Well, Coach, we're coming off a huge win against Sylvan Hills. Give us a recap of last week's game.
Well, we still have a long way to go. We made several mistakes on both sides of the ball and special teams, a lot of mistakes on special teams. But, we continue to get better. And offensively, pretty good night. We rushed for over 270 yards, passed for over 200. Anytime you can get that kind of production, you're going to get points on the board and have a better chance of getting a win. Defensively, our defense continues to play well. We give up 15. One of those touchdowns was late, and one was off a fumbled punt return. There's areas to improve, but all in all, our defense continues to play really well. If you look at just overall, we controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides. The offensive line played well. The defensive line continues to play well. So, we got out on them early. I think it was 25-7 at half, 31-7 going into the fourth quarter. We just couldn't do enough to get the Mercer clock running, but played really well.
Absolutely. Well, our players of the game last week were Connor Clark for the offense, Cameron Clark for the defense, and Brian Guerrero for special teams. So what stood out to you the most about these guys?
Well, Connor Clark on offense is our tight end. And all of our run plays are pretty much behind Connor. So when you have a good night running, Connor has a good night blocking. And then Connor also had 4 receptions for 69 yards. So, he had a lot of production. Defensively, Cameron Clark had 10 tackles, he had 2 sacks, he had a forced fumble, had a quarterback pressure. So, second week in a row that he started this year after a really good JV season, and he just continues to get better and better, very physical. And then Bryant Guerra, special teams, he's just super solid. I mean, he played well defensively, had an interception, but had 2 tackles on punt team, just always in the right place, always doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Just a solid player for us.
The Clark boys and, of course, Bryant seem to have a really good night. Well, Marion is coming in on game 3 on a 3-game win streak. So what do you think the Hurricane will have to do to effectively combat their energy?
Well, they're a very good football team. They do a lot of good. They've got one guy on offense, a receiver, who is as good a player as we'll see all year. Really kind of like the Sammy Johnson that we saw against Catholic, but at the receiver position. They force him the ball, and he still makes plays. They'll throw it into coverage, he still makes plays, and their running back is good, and they're just solid everywhere else. Defensively, they got a linebacker who's really good and solid everywhere else. So anytime you've got a game changer on the side of the ball, and they've got one on both sides, combined with a bunch of solid players, you're a good team. And they're 7-2, lost by 2 to West Memphis, lost by 1. I think to Parkview early in the year. So they lost to Searcy, and so they're really solid. A lot of their games have been down to the wire, so they're experienced kind of in the big game atmosphere. We're just going to have to play really well. Hopefully our seniors will come out fired up on senior night, last, official regular season home game of the year. We know we got a home playoff game, but, hopefully we can come out, have some juice about us, and play really well.
I hope to see that as well. Well, we started 7 sophomores this past week, 4 on the offense and 3 on the defense. Tell us a little bit about the strength that the sophomore class is showing.
Well, the thing you like about the sophomores is they get better every day. A lot of times guys will, in practice or in JV games, they'll kind of blow it off. And these guys never do that. Now, do they have skill? Yes. Do they have size? Yes. They check all the boxes, but they continue to get better. And one thing that we believe in as a coaching staff is the guys that commit to daily getting better deserve a chance to play. and some guys, you know, don't take advantage of that, but those guys have. And so, you know, it's fun to see, you know, Cross and Connor Clark have started all year on the offense, and Nate Light has started all year defensively. But, you know, Cameron Clark and Brody Williams on defense just have improved throughout the year, and now they get on Friday nights and they belong, and they're playmakers. And then offensively, you know, Albert George, you know, the last 4 games, he's averaging 23 carries a game, averaging over 120 yards a game, and he's only had 3 negative rushes over a 4-game span. And then Braylon Moore got the start this week at receiver, and just adds a little bit of speed to that position, a little explosiveness. Had a good solid game with a couple receptions, but you know, just all those guys, and there's several more in there, and a good junior class as well. We really think that the future's bright for us, but right now we're worried about, you know, the Marion Patriots in week 10 of this season.
Absolutely. Well, tonight's game is senior night and the last regular season home game, so we're hoping for a packed out crowd, of course. Well, how do you think the fans' energy will benefit the Golden Game?
Well, I know that this year when the Dog Pound has been packed, and their energy, we feed off of that. And so hopefully the Dog Pound will be out there, because, you know, the parents are going to bring their own set of energy, but the Dog Pound's energy is different. And if we can get those guys to be there and, you know, get loud and rowdy, then it helps us play better. So I think it'll be good. You know, looking forward to being back at home and, you know, playing in front of our fans.
Absolutely. Home games are always fun. Well, the playoffs are approaching, so walk us through the different playoff scenarios the Hurricane might face. Okay,
well, we know we've got a home playoff game. If we win or lose by less than 12, and Searcy wins, and the Searcy has to win if we lose by 12 or less, we'll be the 2 seed. Well, if that happens, then we would have a bye, and then we would play at home against what's looking like Russellville in the second round of the playoffs. If we lose, well, if Searcy loses and we lose by more than 12, so 13 or more, then we would be the 4 seed. And it looks like we would then play at home against most likely Lake Hamilton or Siloam Springs. And then we would be on the road at Benton in the second round. So, you know, that's kind of, we're either the 2 or the 4. I think there's a small outside chance of being a 3 seed if there was like point ties and all that. I mean, it's kind of a convoluted mess at some point. But, you know, the biggest thing is if we go out and take care of business, we'll be the 2 seed.
Okay, well, we'll be looking for that for sure. Well, thank you for being here, Coach. We wish you the best of luck against Marion at your last regular season home game.
Thank you.